Well, back at it. Dak down to 3. It's all right. We'll be all right. Sit your podcast down. We have G in the building.
You're
Reeks in the building.
Yes, sir.
Big Fly here as well. So this is an interesting topic. We don't usually talk about this person. I don't know why. It just never really happens. But Lizzo, find yourself in the news, guys, and it's weird. Like, for lack of a better word, it is some weird shit. For you guys that don't know, Lizzo has been the victim of a lawsuit where she is listed as being discriminatory, fat shaming people, apparently sexual harassment. There's a lot going on here. First and foremost, guys, so want to get your opinions on this. Number one, I'm not gonna say that's gonna be funny. Like, if you fat, can you fat shame somebody? I want to just know that, right? No, because like I'm fat. I don't fat shame nobody because like I'm fat. Number two, the sexual allegations or sexual harassment allegations seem to largely stem from going to Amsterdam. I guess there's a known type of performance in which women put bananas inside themselves and then people, I guess, eat them from there or pull them out. I don't know. I don't know how this works. Is it put in a different light if they were in a place like that and she's like, just go do it, go touch it, go touch the banana? Does it feel different to you or does it feel like, nah, that's kind of fucked up? So those are the two questions I'm going to levy to you guys first.
I think you have brought us to one of the untouchable topics that will automatically get you not canceled, but flamed. And they're all wildin'. Personally, I guess when in Rome, I'm personally not going there to do that. But I mean, she's definitely wildin'. Like, this is definitely a wild story. And if it's true, I think people need to question how they feel about Lizzo as a person that is a role model. If she's like preaching acceptance and then doing weird stuff. And I think we have a history of seeing people do that, and we see what the social media social justice warriors try to do to people like that. So I feel like I said a lot of nothing.
No, an untouchable topic. What's the untouchable topic, I wonder?
You can't talk about
Lizzo covers a few untouchable topics.
Yeah, you can't really criticize Black women. You can't criticize overweight women, and you can't talk about women and their sexual habits.
And she's also a big friend of the gays.
Yes,
there is a lot there. You're right. Is that the ultimate plot armor though? Isn't that how you avoid any criticism? Be in those groups no one talks about so that you can just do what the fuck you want? I don't know. It feels like it at least. What do you think, Rick? Uh-oh.
I don't have a do-rag on today. But I mean, I feel that maybe this will be a hot take.
Okay.
But if Lizzo crashes, right, and all this stuff doesn't go her way, does that open a door for things to go back to like how we kind of grew up where nobody was like off limits? Because you have a person that if anybody said anything about her, if you called her fat, you talk about like her habits and the stuff she's doing, like even when she was wilding at that Lakers game. And it's like, people like, it's children. Well, you can't talk about Lizzo. She's sexually free and all this other stuff. And then you see what type of person this is behind the scenes. And she is like, does this open the door? Because meanwhile, like everybody acted like she was above criticism. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, she's doing everything that people, they say they can't do to her.
That's a good question. I think you're right. Because I think we've seen this with the LGBT community. You know, we've definitely seen them with different subsets of like of women in this country. Like the jokes are like, well, that's not funny. You can't say that. The thing that was great about comedy and just criticism in general is that everybody can catch it. There's no group who's, you know, who's immune to that. Oh, you're gay, we're making jokes about you. Well, that's not right. You black, we're making jokes about you. You live in the South, making jokes about you. You live in another country, making jokes about you. Like, no matter what you are, whatever where you fall in, you know, this country, you're gonna get made fun of. And that makes it everybody feel equal. In my mind, if you make fun of everybody, then everybody should feel equal. Lizzo's definitely in those groups of, well, you can't talk about her. Well, that's true. I do think also the behind closed doors, if this is how you are, you got this, you know, majority white management team, you know, harassing just the black members of your staff and your black dancers. That shit seems kind of wild. Now, again,
Is there a
maybe
case that she didn't know?
I don't. Yeah, there's a case she didn't know. There's a possibility she didn't know. Do I think that excuses it? No, because it's no. The buck stops with you.
I don't think she like. I can't go with that because she's the one calling a lot of her dancers fat and all that other stuff. Like
it does seem
so,
like some of it was coming from her directly, but they do
yeah.
mention the management team as well. But I just tend to feel like your management team is going to be a reflection of you because you're the money,
Right. Because my thing is like if the management team has a problem with them being overweight, then why don't they have a problem with Lizzo?
Yeah,
Like,
honestly,
like what? Because they seem like the dancers look smaller than Lizzo, so it's like, what's the problem?
He plays the flute, Reek. She plays
I mean,
the
I get
flute.
it. I get it. I mean, you want a bunch of big women on stage. Like, I don't understand why you got like a problem with their weight.
I feel like the if it was any complaints about weight from her, she should be canceled. Not because I care about that. Only because everything about you has said let people be who they are. Why do we judge everybody? Like, you know, body positivity has become a huge thing now, which I feel like only applies to women because no one cares about fat men. Just being real with you, just go get in the gym, fat ass. That's how I get treated. Just saying.
Oof.
But what? Fine.
Hey,
I'm just
hey,
saying.
you don't play the flute.
I don't play the flute. I get it. I don't play the flute. So it makes sense. I get it. But if that's your image publicly, and then this is you privately, even a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, I don't like the idea of calling for somebody to be canceled, but I am going to say you should be caught out and be held accountable. You can't just skate on this because you play the flute. Like that needs to stop being the reason you can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
She lives in the bubble of the untouchables we just listed. So I mean,
But why?
This is wild to me, but not unexpected. You know, people who live in these bubbles, I feel like they get away with a lot of stuff.
So let me ask you. So we mentioned this offline, so I got to mention it now. Do you think this is as bad? It potentially could have the father of what Jonathan Majors is going through because he got canceled almost immediately. They're like, nah, fuck him, he done. Even though it seems to be he's winning his case.
No, it was pretty clear he got off on that bad boy. They had all the footage, like cops getting ratted on. It's like
yeah, she needs to lose her sponsors. I mean, like, come on.
Right. Yeah, she didn't lose all of that. All of that. Like it happened immediately with Jonathan Majors. Immediately. The military took his commercials away. Like
not even that I think it should happen. I think it's ridiculous that happens in general. But if you're gonna set a precedence, you can't. It gotta go across the board. Or these conversations like this are gonna happen where it's like, yo, see now, I never really had a problem with her, right? And if this story came out, I would have not cared at all. But since they set the precedence of stuff like this, meaning you're getting canceled, now I care about this.
I mean, you're right. I just want to know what's going on with Black celebrity, man. Why are these stories keep? We had this story, and then I don't want to go to this story because this is gonna get really wild. The Dwight Howard story we talked about last week offline. There's a lot of what about money makes black folk act weird? What is it? I don't understand it, man. It bothers me. It really bothers me.
Do you think it's just a target? I mean, because I can't imagine just black people do weird stuff. Obviously, it probably has a lot to do with like why are we always the ones that seem to get reported?
Yeah, we see Britney Spears every day. She got money.
She is. That's a weird one. Oh my god, she is a weird one. Oh man, between that and Plies commenting on her pictures, I'm like, bro, would you stop it? You look weird, thirsty. Just cut it out. Maybe you're right. So then, do you think that? Do you think if it wasn't Lizzo, she wasn't black, she gets supported? Do you think if she's a white celebrity, they just get paid off and it's just no one talks about it? Is that your theory?
I mean, I don't think it'd blow up as much as it did. Like, if it was like Adele, I think it'd have been a little bit quieter.
Really? You think if it's Adele, it's quieter?
Yeah. So I think because it's Lizzo, because remember, I was like, people really haven't slandered or came like Lizzo's always been in controversy somehow. So either somebody slandering her or coming at her, or like, when like everybody got mad at Ari Spears because he said she looks like mashed potatoes. And
he said she looks like the shit emoji. I was
shit emoji and mashed potatoes.
I was like, God damn. It was funny. It was wrong, but it was funny.
It was funny. Like a comedian telling a joke. Like everybody jumped on him for telling a joke. And she's bad behind the scenes doing the same thing.
Right. Get mad at him for it being a bad joke. Don't get mad at him for attempting to tell a joke.
And they can't be mad because it wasn't a bad joke because it was funny. Right. People laughed. It was a good joke. But it's like Adele ain't never really been in that. So it's like, I think it's like, it's like Kevin Spacey. Like Kevin Spacey, with all his allegations, like the court stuff just finished like last week or something like that. But that happened like
you're right. No one's been talking about that.
Nobody's been talking about it.
Right. And they destroyed a whole show that was almost a marquee show. Like there's evidence that people subscribed to Netflix specifically for that show and unsubscribed when they finished it, right? So like they took him off that. We ain't heard nothing yet.
Nope. Nothing. And that was years ago. And they just settled the case like last week. But you didn't hear nothing.
They settled out of court?
Yeah. He's not they found him not guilty or something like that. Like he's
really?
Yeah.
All right, I guess.
Canceled a great show for that.
Maybe you're right, G. Maybe because they're black, they get higher scrutiny and it just becomes a bigger story.
And I think Lizzo, and I think people just the way they ran at Lizzo's defense, every time somebody called her fat, and every time somebody says something about her, like, yo, she shouldn't be doing that at Lakers games. Like there's kids there. It's like, oh, shut up. And like everybody just coming at it. Now all of a sudden this comes out. It's like, yo, wait a minute.
So I do think you brought to the Lakers game. I do think this. If it was Rihanna, she probably gets away with it. She probably does. If it's Meg, she gets away with it. If it's anybody who is more traditionally attractive, they probably get away with it. It would still be just as wild and inappropriate to have like your whole ass out at a random basketball game. Yes.
Yeah.
But they probably could do it to get away with it. Like if Nikki pull up and be like, my ass is out, what's up? They're gonna be like, here's your seat.
As a future fat person, the way I'm going right now, I want the right for people to tell me I'm fat and to fix that shit without them feeling like they have to just tell me I'm good.
I see. Yeah,
I don't want people lying to me if they feel away. And there's a lot of fat acceptance that to me feels like
a lot lying. Of fat acceptance. Oh my god!
It feels like
lying. He said fat acceptance, which feels like lying.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody says she's not fat. I just think they ignore.
Or they're trying to convince us that it's not. It's cool.
Yeah, it's like, yo, she's vegan. Like where? I don't know any vegan that like
yo,
that.
chill out. Yo, chill out. She said she's vegan aware. Chill out. That is the thing though. But like again, we know that for the most part, your outward appearance doesn't always perfectly reflect your internal
1,000% correct.
We know that, right?
Agree.
I'm just going off the reports that she's calling her workers fat and lazy. Like, come on, man.
That realistically, that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable in general, but like, look in the mirror. You can't do that. You just can't do that shit. It's just not, especially with again it's your personal experience. It's the platform you stand for, what you present to the public, and then it's like, all right, those things combined. All right, now you can't. But I wonder if this is going to actually come out and she gets convicted. I have a feeling it's going to just be chop off some bread. It goes away. We forget about it, and Lizzo's amazing and plays the food again. That's how it feels like it's going to go, realistically.
I appreciate her flute playing.
I think it adds to her plot armor. I don't like it. I don't like it for that reason alone.
And I think I'm still going with like 90% of the time I wouldn't care about this, but y'all just been canceling so many people that now it's like, yo, all right, so we bloodthirsty now. Okay, who next? What? Wait a minute, y'all skipping this one? Wait a minute.
Wait for the facts. We need the facts. We don't know if it's true or not.
That's right. Like that's the biggest issue. Like I think there's no, it's always double standard, right? When it was Jonathan Majors, guilty, send him to jail immediately. No thought, no talking about it. No wait for the evidence. None of that. When it's somebody they like, that's one of those untouchable groups.
Oh, this is Me Too behavior too, right? Ain't this Me Too behavior making them do sexual stuff?
Oh yeah,
it's very much that 100%. Like this hits all the wrong buckets, realistically.
Right, and I'm on board with the Me Too stuff. Get them all out of here. Lizzo too.
Lizzo too. What makes her above the law? Well, the law of canceling.
You're right. She should be in that same bucket with the rest of them. We'll see. It's a weird story, man. The bananas? What are you doing?
Ain't nobody canceling those shows, nothing for Lizzo.
Mainly, she's probably the most. She's a top trending topic right now. When it's gonna hurt her at all.
Yeah, and that's because she's a big contradiction. The vegan.
No, shut up.
I'm so sorry my camera's and all, because that turned my face all up.
Big country. I'm done. Nah, you're wild.